What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of Geek Babble. I am thrilled to be here to dive into all the geeky topics today, but I can't do it alone. As you can see, I got some guests here with me. We have on my right, Chris the Criminal Crow. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on? Excited to talk about these amazing new trailers we got.
Yeah, it was a big weekend. But we got a new guest on the show today, guys. New to the Boston Movie Geeks. I am proud to bring in my friend Dan Bagarella. What's going on, bud?
How's it going, guys?
Dan was commenting on the last episode of Geek Babble, and that just snowballed into me being like, dude, you need to get involved with this shit. You like movies, you should be here. And
Indeed,
obviously he is.
Yep. I actually just I spent some time during quarantine and I collected all of my DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and I realized that I have 669 titles.
Wow.
And that's just way too much.
So that's funny. Before we dive into the topics, for a long time, I collected DVDs and all that, Blu-rays, all that shit. And then eventually my wife was like, I am sick of looking at these fucking things in the house. You need to put them in boxes and get them in the basement. And I wasn't pulling them out and watching them. I was doing everything digitally. So now my library is like exclusively digitally when I get new stuff. So I even buy some of the shit that I have downstairs on digital just because I'm so lazy.
I had so many doubles and stuff on Blu-ray and DVD at the same time. I'm like, wow.
I still buy Blu-rays.
You do?
Yeah,
you're not the only one. Nelly does the same thing. He loves to have the physical copy of stuff.
It's still the best quality way to watch a movie because streaming hasn't got to that point yet. It's almost there. It's negligible now, but
so I have some Ultra HD my TV upstairs, some titles that I think look awesome, but I've never done a side by side with my Blu-ray. I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player or anything like that, so I wouldn't be able to anyways. But it looks good to me. So. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into these topics here. So this entire episode, for the most part, is going to be about the DC Fandome event. So obviously that happened on Saturday. DC got all their shit together for all their upcoming movies that, some of them have been pushed from this year to next year, but they basically dropped a whole bunch of content, whole bunch of trailers, behind the scenes stuff. We're going to talk about the big ones that came out of it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is everybody's favorite woman, Wonder Woman. Yay! So Wonder Woman dropped 1984. Obviously, it was supposed to debut this year. It did not, which is a freaking shame. I really was looking forward to it. And so this has been pushed a while, but we were able to get some new footage. We got some images of Kristen Wiig's Cheetah, which, maybe wasn't the best thing to get a look at. But guys, you watched the trailer. What did you think?
Chris,
anybody
take it?
I think it looks great. All the trailers I've seen up to this point have gotten me excited. I think Cheetah looks fine. I love Kristen Wiig, so I'm totally down with what she's going to bring to the table. So, but yeah, no, it's fucking awesome.
See, I was on the fence with Kristen Wiig as the casting choice for this role from the beginning. I like her in movies, but I just when I think of Gal Gadot and somebody going up against her, especially in the role of Cheetah, I expected someone at least like as intimidating as Gal Gadot is as like a giant woman. Kristen Wiig's kind of short, so and I know that shouldn't matter. It's a fucking comic book movie. She could have powers that counter that, but I again, I'm not mad that she's in the movie, but I thought it was a weird casting choice. So
but Gal Gadot's a very small woman too, she's
slim, but she's like 6'2", isn't she?
6'2".
I don't know if she's that tall. She's up there, man. She's fucking tall.
Well, she's a model. Yeah, she's a model.
But Dan, I know that you're not the world, as you told me, not the world's largest DC movie fan. So, what do you think of this trailer? What do you think of Wonder Woman 1984?
So out of all the DC movies, Wonder Woman has been my favorite.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I think a lot of people.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I think is perfect. In the first one, I think had that good mixture of action and comedy, and it looks like they're kind of bringing that back into 1984. The CGI on Cheetah is it's rough. Honestly, it looks like she looks like a feral reject from the movie Cats that came out. And I can't help but feel that it's kind of an Iron Man 3 knockoff with the whole, small kind of weak person given powers somehow and then fighting the hero in that.
Yeah, I will. So that's the one aspect of this that I definitely agree with is I don't like the whole she's beautiful, like think her jealousy of Wonder Woman being like beautiful and powerful and all this stuff. That's a pretty lame angle to me, and maybe that is an angle that is not where the movie starts out. Maybe her character, when she gets exposed to whatever the fuck turns her into a cheetah, like maybe that like kind of primal like feeling like pushes her into like that scene or whatever where she's having that conversation. I don't know, but all I know is I agree with you that the CGI on Cheetah looks pretty rotten. But it's a trailer. It's a trailer. I don't. I'm not going to hold the movie accountable for it.
Now, usually, I would agree that a trailer doesn't have finished CGI most of the time, but this movie was already supposed to come out, so that is most likely the finished product we're seeing.
Right.
Well, unless they're using an older trailer, but I don't see it.
I heard that
it's not too late to change it. Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's best change I've ever seen in a recent movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, was great.
Hey, it worked out for them too because they actually like the people the producers actually got money off the product as a result of it. So clearly it worked for them. But the only thing I could say it looks cheesy, and hopefully in the theaters it doesn't look that bad, and maybe it was just the quick clips of it like don't really flush out how it's going to actually look, but it did already get like completed, so it probably should look a little better than that. But
you're totally right though. I didn't think about Iron Man 3. Like she's totally a knockoff of that what's the actor's name? I forget his name.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, Guy Pearce.
Like his guy, like you didn't notice me, but now you'll notice me, type of thing. Like.
I'm really hoping there's more depth to it. That's all I'm asking for.
I don't think she's the final villain of the movie. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that Pedro Pascal's character, what the hell is his name? Vincent Lord, not Vincent Lord. What the hell is his character name? Doesn't matter. Maxwell Lord. I'm pretty sure that his character is the actual villain. And I don't know anything about this story, and I shouldn't because they haven't released it yet. But I would be shocked if it wasn't like something like him granting these people these abilities or these powers, Steve Trevor being back, whatever, so he can feed off of whatever energy it is that he's granting them power with, So
is it Steve Trevor or is it Steve Trevor's? No, it has to be Steve Trevor.
It's Steve Trevor.
I was thinking about the old 70s show where the first season takes place in the 40s, and then the second season and third season takes place in the 70s.
Quantum Leap?
No,
what are you talking about?
No, Wonder Woman.
The Wonder Woman show.
I thought you were talking about that's either that 70s show or
no.
What the hell you were talking about?
The first season of Wonder Woman takes place in the 40s during World War II. And then the second season jumps to like the 70s for some reason. And the guy who played Steve Trevor, his original character is dead all of a sudden, and he has like a twin son. He has like a son that looks just like him. And I don't know if it's going to be like something stupid like that.
I gotta tell you, I never watched the Linda Carter Wonder Woman, so I don't know I don't know any of that information, so I can't help you.
It could be worse. You could have Marty McFly's daughter.
It's true.
I'm just curious how they're going to bring him back.
That's why I'm again. This is just me watching the trailers and picking up on it. Pretty sure Pedro Pascal's character has some kind of a relic that grants people wishes, but in return, again, I think he's stealing power for himself.
Yeah. See,
how else does Kristen Wiig's character become a cheetah?
It's true. I see. This is the thing.
I say a cheetah like it's not a character. Cheetah.
I'm already gonna go and say that it's not gonna be as good as the first one, just because the first one was really grounded.
Yeah.
Like the first one was pretty damn grounded as a movie.
This has the same setup, the same feel to me as the first one, where the first one had the third act, like over CGI fight that everybody complains about. I mean, the movie is fucking damn near perfect, with the exception of that part of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming this will be about the same. But yeah, again, we don't know. We don't know anything. But
I'm excited.
With the exception of the CGI, I thought the trailer was great. I thought the scenes where you see her running through the street, like as Wonder Woman, it's supposed to be set in the 80s, but it felt very much like the Christopher Reeve Superman scenes. Like those streets look like the 1970 Christopher Reeve film, and I don't know, the red boots hitting the floor while she's running. I was like, holy shit, this looks like something straight out of the Richard Donner Superman.
Well, the first one was like that too.
Yeah.
The alleyway scene
Where she's catching the bullets.
Yeah, it's totally the alleyway scene from Superman the movie, where he catches it and then falls, and he just kind of looks at it and goes.
I love Gal Gadot though. You know what it is? I could watch her. I can watch her sell anything, and it's so funny because before she was cast as Wonder Woman, I was like, she's a poor choice for Wonder Woman, and then I saw her in the stills, and I'm like, I was wrong. I don't know why I thought she was a poor choice. She looks just like her. So
she looks great as Wonder Woman, and she worked really well in the first movie. Because she was kind of, and I said this last Geek Babble, but because she kind of like a fish out of water.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like a, like just kind of a ditzy way of portraying her. So I'm gonna hold my tongue because I've been wrong about actors before, but I hope this one she really steps it up.
Well, it's a role reversal, right? This movie's a role reversal. So now Chris Pine's character is the fish out of water.
Yeah.
So
I really hope she steps it up. I mean, I like her. I like her in everything I've seen her in. So, Fast and the Furious included. I mean, she, like you said, she didn't really
give much,
but she was fine. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Dan, are you gonna run out and get yourself some of those sweet '80s clothing that Chris Pine was trying on at the end of that trailer?
You know, I already have all of that,
including the fanny packs.
Including the fanny pack. That's what I was mentioning that earlier, where they do like to bring in the comedy aspect of it, and I think Chris Pine's a great way of doing that. If you look back, what's that movie he did with Tom Hardy? This Means War.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Movie.
The spy movie. Yeah.
Was okay, but just the back and forth that the two of them were able to do, and I mean, thinking of what else Chris Pine has been in, I mean, he's Star Trek, Captain Kirk. I mean,
his comedy with Spock was pretty good.
It is.
So
I like how they bring that pretty much everywhere, and he has the ability to do that. And
yeah,
so, I mean, I like him. Other than the fact that his head is legit like 3
giant.
times the size of mine. It is huge.
It's giant, and it's like first you're like, is it the hair? No, it's his head. He's got a big head.
He has a huge head.
Yeah, so I like Chris Pine a lot. I thought he was awesome in the first Wonder Woman. It totally sold that story. So obviously, I'm glad he's back in this. But I mean, is this one of those things where they're bringing it back just so they could fucking kill him again? Like when she ultimately defeats Maxwell Lord or whatever at the end of the movie, is this fucking thing that's brought him into real life gone, and now he's just dead again? Because
I'm saying yes.
Yeah, that kind of sucks though, doesn't it? Like to have him die again.
You just reminded me that my buddy borrowed my Wonder Woman 4K Blu-ray, and I need to get it back. I gotta use the digital code too before it expires.
Dude, like Chris Pine's character, man, that fucking Blu-ray's gone.
Oh yeah.
All right, here's my theory for the ending.
Dan's prediction. It's gonna be Dan's predictions. It's gonna be a new fucking segment on the show.
You'll find out at the end she's pregnant with his kid.
Oh,
maybe. That's not too far-fetched, actually.
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But when he vanishes, when he vanishes, is the baby going to vanish at the same time? Or is her?
No, he's going to grow up to look just like his father.
Just like his father.
And then in the next Wonder Woman movie that takes place 20 years from now, he's going to be the same person. Just like the old TV show. It's going to be terrible.
See, I think you got to let him live. I think you can't have him die.
You can't off him twice.
Well, in the first Wonder Woman, I had this crazy theory that I threw out there. I was like, you know what I think? It would be amazing and it's totally not in DC canon at all. But like, as that plane's about to blow up and he's about to shoot the fucking thing or whatever, I'm like, what if as he shoots it out of nowhere, like a Green Lantern just showed up and like scooped him out of the fucking plane before he blew up? And then like all of a sudden, like you could bring him back and have him be the new Green Lantern in like the DC universe. And I was like, it'd be awesome because then you get Chris Pine back and you get a new superhero. And then I was like, that's just so fanboy. Like, that's not fucking real at all. Like, I don't even know why I was like, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this topic. Our next topic we're gonna go into is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. We got a behind the scenes look at the movie, not like a real trailer necessarily, but we got to see some of the characters. And James Gunn was talking very, very highly of this movie. Did you guys get a chance to watch that panel or the behind the scenes videos for the Suicide Squad?
So I noticed they replaced some actors, but kept some. Is that what I saw?
They didn't replace anybody because you'd think that because it seems like what's his face is Will Smith's character again, but he's not.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
No.
I thought he was Deadshot or whatever.
No, because honestly, it's like the same exact outfit. So I totally understand that.
Okay.
He's Idris Elba is playing a character called Bloodsport, who, I mean, I read a lot of comics. I have no idea who that is. So
that's fine. That's fine. It's Idris Elba. I'll take it.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love James Gunn. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, was one of my top favorite Marvel movies of all time. I kind of hate the second one, but that's not James Gunn's fault. That's like my personal thing where I feel like there's too much comedy and not enough good story in the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
As where the first one had like the perfect balance of all of it. So that was my expectations that brought that movie down for me. But it's not James Gunn's fault because I love everything James Gunn does. So this is going to be amazing, I'm pretty sure. But Dan, what do you think of the Suicide Squad?
I'll be honest, I hated the first one.
Yeah, I did terrible.
I thought it was a hot garbage from start to finish.
Yep.
The guy that plays Rick Flag,
Joel Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman. Yeah, he gets a lot of flack for everything he's in.
However, I really liked him in
Altered
what's
Carbon?
the Apple TV one?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Hannah? Are you talking about Hannah on Prime?
Oh, he was good in Hannah. He was good.
There's an Apple TV thing where the Russians beat the Americans to the moon.
Oh,
Mankind is what it's called.
Oh, okay. Yes, not that one.
And I mean, he has the same shitty acting in it, but it works for his character in that.
It works in the period piece.
Yeah, somehow. But I mean, he killed that movie for me. I thought that Margot Robbie was fine as Harley Quinn, and I think she's doing a little bit better in this other one. But I mean, Killer Croc was garbage.
Yes.
What a waste of a character.
Yep.
And I think one of the cooler characters, the one that was played by the guy that played Kickin' Wing from Joe Dirt, like in the first 10 minutes of being introduced, his head gets blown up, and it's like,
I'm sorry. Is that Kickin' Wing? Slipknot is Kickin' Wing?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
That is crazy. I've been thinking about Joe Dirt all week. I don't know why. And every time I'm doing the dishes, I'm like, I only like snakes and sparklers.
I have these two sticks.
For some reason, you just brought that up. That is crazy. I had no idea. That's definitely him.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you look at him, and you're like, hey, he's got some cool stuff going on, and then all of a sudden, the head explodes, and you're like,
he literally just climbs a building and gets his head blown up.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
Yeah,
and I mean, funny to me.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was going to move on to Captain Boomerang.
Real quick. What's funny to me is Suicide Squad came off as kind of like a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy because they used all the old music and all that kind of stuff. So now that James Gunn is in on it, I think it'd be done pretty proper. The way, the idea they had in their heads for the original movie is probably what's going to end up. We're going to get, hopefully.
From everything James Gunn said in the panel, he said that this fucking movie is the most like crazy action, the most explosions that he's ever put in a movie. I mean, that coming from Guardians, which is literally, I know every director
about
says
the
that.
newest movie.
I know
Michael Bay says that about every new movie he's ever done.
Oh,
but
my
Michael
God.
Bay actually ups it every time he says it. His movies just get chaotic. Honestly, the funniest thing I ever saw was somebody mixed together this thing. It was like the new Michael Bay movie, and all it was just a series of explosions for 15 minutes on screen, and then it just said directed by Michael Bay at the end.
For every explosion put in, a line of dialogue gets taken out of every movie.
I hate to go off on a side tangent for Michael Bay stuff, but like Michael Bay adds explosions when they don't even need to be there. Like Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime rolls out of a barn onto a grassy field, and there's an explosion under him. You're like, what did he blow up? Are there landmines? Like, what was he rolling over?
It's like the old Star Trek shows where like the computers would blow up, but there'd be rocks in them for some reason. so like rocks would come flying out, and you're
space rocks.
Space rocks. It's like
I'm not a big Star Trek guy, but this has nothing to do with explosions. But every time they walk into an area and it's like surrounded by rocks, you like a fucking alien's about to come walking around rock in every episode of Star Trek. What was I talking about though? Suicide Squad.
So I mean, I gotta say, I'm pretty stoked to see John Cena in there.
Peacemaker.
Pete Davidson. I love John Cena's explanation as to what he was told he has to be. Basically,
Captain America, but a douchebag.
Yeah, a douchey Captain America. It's like, okay. I think he'll do great with that. Something that I did notice: Idris Elba and Michael Rooker jump into DC.
Yeah,
Marvel. I mean, obviously Heimdall and Yondu are both dead. Sorry, spoiler alert. If you don't know,
how dare you spoil those two movies?
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
the most watched movies of all time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen them, I mean, they're joining the ranks of like people like Jimon Hansu. I don't know how to say his name, but that dude is a straight comic book whore when it comes down to it. Korath in Guardians 1 and 2 in Captain Marvel. He's the voice of King Raikou in Aquaman.
Yep. And he's in Shazam.
The wizard in Shazam. I mean, he is everywhere.
Yep.
And I mean, you also have to think about the fact that Idris Elba was also in The Losers, which is technically in the canon, and along with Chris Evans and Zoe Saldana.
That's right. They all jump around.
So I mean, they're just jumping everywhere.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, the actors got to get paid too. So take these roles.
Did you guys see the emancipation of a one Harley Quinn?
I did not. I probably would have seen it in theaters, but it came out like literally the week I came back from going to Disney with my family, and then the world fell apart.
I think it's free on HBO now.
Oh, is it?
Have HBO? I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, see that's one I would absolutely watch for free, but I didn't get a chance to see in theaters. So
Gal Gadot's 5'10", by the way.
Oh, see, she's taller than me. She's taller than me.
Me too.
Everybody's taller than me, so whatever. But
yeah, it's on HBO for sure.
That's awesome. I will. That's gonna be watched in the next couple days then.
Speaking of Suicide Squad, the video game they have coming out looks amazing.
Yeah, so it's from the creators of the Arkham games, right? It's just so it's the same world, but just you're playing. It's a co-op, right? 4-player co-op.
I don't know. I mean, it would have to be. It'd be a missed opportunity if it wasn't. But Superman just shows up at the end. You're like, he's gonna kick the shit out of them. And no, he's like, I don't know if you've ever played Injustice, but he just takes one of the guys and just like fucking lasers his through his eyes, like lasers through his fucking eye sockets. Yeah, his head, his eye sockets in his head, and just Superman's just badass. And Harley Quinn's like, yeah, and it just looks fucking awesome. It just looks fucking awesome. I don't know.
It does. That her voice though is
nails on a chalkboard.
It really is. And I did some research on her. The person that voiced her, Tara Strong, she's been voicing Harley Quinn for like 10 years in video games.
Really?
But she does have a couple other voiceover credits that you'd be surprised about. Did you ever watch
Lollipop Chainsaw, which was out on Lollipop Chainsaw, which was out on PS3, written by James Gunn.
Really?
By the way, yeah.
Really? Wow.
That's incredible.
I was gonna go with Fairly Odd Parents. She
There you
was the
go,
voice
yeah.
of Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
A boy?
Yeah,
Oh,
Dill
yeah.
Pickles. You know Tommy Pickles and the Rugrats.
Yeah.
Dill Pickles' little brother voiced him. Um,
Tommy
Have you seen the
Pickles was
movie?
also voiced by a woman, by the way.
right. Have you seen the movie Ted?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know when you squeeze Ted and he goes, "I love you."
Yeah.
That's her.
That's funny.
Yeah, and
Dan will do well in our trivia matches.
Yeah, and she played Lincoln in no, she didn't.
she was Daniel Day-Lewis's body double.
She was his stand-in.
Just for the gun scene though.
So one thing about this movie though is obviously that he showed a little bit of footage when he was doing the backstage, like King Shark as the replacement for Killer Croc. I think that's hilarious because he's literally just a shark man. he's a shark man,
Street Shark style.
dude. He eats a guy on screen, and I was like, that's fucking incredible. And this movie's rated R, so I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be like super vulgar and super bloody and violent, and
Perfect.
just that cast alone, when it showed all of them standing there in their costumes, like some of them are in like practical like army gear, some of them are straight. This guy who I thought was the character Booster Gold, who's a comic book hero in DC, but it wasn't. It's just a guy with a spear, and he's in this yellow and blue outfit. I'm like, that dude looks like something out of Power Rangers. Like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, but I trust James Gunn. I think the story will be so crazy and so funny that it's going to be worthwhile. My only concern is, and you started to talk about Captain Boomerang. I thought, even though Jai Courtney is one of the worst actors on the planet, I thought he was actually kind of funny, one of the better characters in the original Suicide Squad. So I hope his character survives whatever happens in the beginning of this new movie. So
I'll be honest, in that trailer for the Suicide Squad video game, I prefer that Captain Boomerang over Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang.
I think it was the Jai Courtney didn't have. Again, my bar was already set low because he's never done anything that I thought was worthwhile ever. Everything he's ever touched crumbles. So
work. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Everything he's ever been in has been terrible. Everything.
Was it Live Free or Die Hard?
Yeah. No, he was he in Live Free? Yeah, he was in the one after that. He was the one that was even worse.
I don't even know the name of that one.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's who you pick for McClane's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. The next one's gonna be like, this series needs to die hard. No, I don't even know if they're gonna make it. They should not make another one if they could have helped. But
they should just call it This Series Died Hard.
John Cena's character, I know we talked about him a little bit. That is an interesting costume. It's literally like the most like flamboyant red shirt I've ever seen in my life, and then just like a big dickhead, like a metal dickhead.
Yeah,
like. That's gotta like that's how you know that they're just like totally like running ham with like all the goofy things that are from the comics. Yeah. Like no. If that's what it looked like in the comic book, that's what it's gonna look like on his head. Like that's fucking crazy. But
he's funny. I like John Cena in movies. I don't know if you've ever seen Bumblebee, but he was great in that.
See, so I love Transformers unabashedly. Like not the Michael Bay one so much, but like that's like my favorite franchise. As a child, my childhood was based around my love for Transformers. So I like John Cena, and I think he does okay. He's got the best line in Bumblebee, which is the Decepticon line. He's like, "They're literally called Decepticons.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be trusting them."
So glad somebody put that line in.
I know, but I felt like John Cena was almost playing in a Michael Bay movie, as where everybody else was like doing like an actual take on Transformers.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
But he was fine. Yeah. It didn't ruin the movie for me.
He was a military dude.
Yeah, it didn't ruin the movie for me. He wasn't as good as I thought he could have been in that role. But
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing him play this Peacemaker character because he looks ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So
I'm looking forward to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is strange coming from me.
Yeah.
When I saw they were making a second Suicide Squad, I was like, kill me now.
DC's up on the
an upswing.
They're on the upswing now.
Well, yeah.
Well, they're trying to fill that void that Avengers Endgame kind of left.
Has left for Marvel.
Yeah, it's just kind of like they were like, we're done.
This is like our new. This is like our
wave 3 at this point.
This is our new talk. This is our new talking point on the show. Last episode we did it too. It's literally just like we keep saying like Marvel's finished and like DC's on the web. Like I don't want that to be the picture I'm painting at all. Like even though I love DC, I'm pretty sure Marvel will find a way to swing back up. It's just that their big story's over. So when their big story's over, they need to come back with something strong enough to grasp everybody and keep their attention. But it's Marvel, so I'm sure that they will.
I'm not saying they're dead, but the hype and the success isn't going to be the same. It's not going to be the same level. Like,
I don't think that they won't top themselves. They're not going to release a movie that's better than Endgame.
You can only be on top once. I mean, or for so long. Like, I hope DC has their chance. They just better not fuck it up.
Well, that'll bring us to our next topic about their chances. So, obviously, one of the biggest things coming out of DC right now is the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So, obviously, Justice League was released in 2017, I think, and it was pretty terrible. It was a hodgepodge of just studio interference and switching directors mid-movie and all that shit, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't what it could have been at all. And everybody was clamoring for this Snyder Cut that honestly the fans made happen. The fans wanted it so bad that Zack Snyder's like, hey, if somebody will give me the money, I'll do the Snyder Cut. And then HBO Max did, and Warner Brothers did, and we're getting it. And from what I could see from the trailer, it looks like a whole lot of movie was left on that cutting room floor by the DC executives at the time. What did you guys think of the trailer that was dropped for, or all the news coming out for the Justice League Snyder Cut?
I loved it. I'm so pumped for it. Like, that's the trailer I wanted originally. And just even the scenes that were in the movie, that I don't know if they were reshot or I don't know how they did it, or they must have just redid the special effects or something, but everything just looks better. Everything looks better.
I agree with that.
We saw Iris West was in it. I don't think she was in the
whole plot lines were cut out of this movie. Like, I know that the announcement is that it's going to be 4 episodes, or they're going to release it like 4 parts on HBO Max, like 4-hour-long parts. So that means that the original cut was 2 hours exactly for the Justice League. So that means there's a whole second movie that is here now. Now, I don't think all of that was cut, but I would imagine at least another hour was cut from this movie. And if you're scrapping an hour from a movie, that is so much story to flush out that they just were like, well, we don't care for that. Like, I'm so glad that DC fired all the people that made this, that were in charge, because that was ridiculous to leave that amount of a movie gone.
Yeah, I think they were like, okay, it can't be more than 2 hours. 2 hours is the max. That's why it was like exactly 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because that's the time they allotted the movie to be.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yes, Iris West is in this. You can see her. Anybody who watches The Flash knows Iris West's story from the TV show. It's Barry Allen's backstory is all the same. And then even Cyborg, Ray Fisher's character, he's got a whole backstory that was cut out of it too. So all these characters have ample screen time and ample stories that were flushed out.
Miles Dyson,
removed. Yeah, Miles Dyson. And this one, he dies the same way. He's like, I can't hold it any longer. He just lets go of the bomb. That's a Terminator 2 reference for anybody tuning in that doesn't know.
Anybody watching this will know that reference.
That's true. Dan, what did you think of the Snyder Cut trailer?
I mean, it looked better visually because the original was a visual nightmare.
Yes.
I mean, am I going to watch it? Yeah. I have HBO. I'll watch it.
Right.
Would I like to be pleasantly surprised? Hell yeah, I would. I like to see. I'm actually pretty stoked that Cyborg is getting a semblance of a backstory, because it's just kind of like, hey, this happened, and now he's like part machine, and he wears a sweatshirt, and you can see glowing stuff through it. And it's like there's like nothing to it. It's like, Why? So the fact that they had it, cut it out, and said, "Fuck it."
People don't need to
They'll
know
figure it
that.
out. I mean, if you read the comic books, you know who this guy is anyway.
Right. Dude, literally his introduction in the movie is the dad gets home. He's like, hey, I brought home a pizza. Like, he just walks into his apartment and it's like, there's my cyborg son floating there. Like, that's it. That's his introduction.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
It's terrible. Terrible. They fucking butchered that movie. I'm so glad the Snyder Cut's getting released. Everything Zack Snyder has talked about with this movie is made me appreciate. I mean, I didn't love BVS. I love Man of Steel. I've talked about it a million times. Talked about it last week a lot. I love Man of Steel. I know it's not critically, it's not the best movie in the world. There's a lot of fans that are kind of iffy on it. I personally love Man of Steel. I didn't love Batman vs Superman as much. I think there are parts that are good. The 3-hour cut, the director's cut was way better. But still not the best movie ever. But the problem I have with a lot of movies, and this ties into Star Wars, like I love The Force Awakens. I didn't care for The Last Jedi, but the way that the story was progressing, I think they should have continued with the tone from The Last Jedi and the story from The Last Jedi rather than what they did with The Rise of Skywalker, which I thought was rotten as fuck. So even like I hate my love of that trilogy literally went up on top, went all the way down. But as much as I didn't like The Last Jedi, I would have preferred them to continue that story and have like at least a cohesive trilogy that made sense. And I feel the same way with
Stick to your guns.
Yes. And I feel the same way with all of these Snyder DC movies, like Man of Steel. Yes. BVS, it still felt like the same exact universe. And then Justice League felt like it was totally something else. Like it didn't fit in with those two movies at all. So even if this movie is terrible, at least it will feel like a cohesive end to the story that started with Man of Steel, you know? So that's all I care about.
I agree with that because you can tell when you're not watching a piece of art or a piece of creativity. You can tell when you're watching a fucking studio money machine. Like, where it's just, what do people like? Throw it in there. Okay, people complained about this? Throw it in there. Oh, but I had this story arc that it doesn't matter. They hated it in the last movie. Get rid of it. Throw this in there. There, nostalgia, throw that in there. And while you're at it, throw a couple Coke ads in there too. So then you just see this. You watch a movie like Rise of Skywalker, and you're like, so the studio thinks we're morons, basically. Like,
well, I mean, did you guys even see in the original Justice League cut? The movie was dark. Like, obviously, everything Snyder does is like dark and like shot in that weird like sepia tone fucking camera light. But like in that movie, when Joss Whedon took it over, in order to brighten it up, they turned the sky red. Like in that whole final arc of that movie, the sky is red and everybody's in like tinted in red and a little brighter than they would have been if it was black skies like it was supposed to be. And like that's what they did in the edit. That was the edit. It was like, how do we make this movie brighter? Well, we're not going to refilm all these scenes. Turn the sky red. Like they like literally they just like did fuck with the tint. That's all they did behind the scene. And like it just shows that that's as metally as it gets. Like people don't want a dark movie anymore. They want fucking light. And you know what? We're gonna turn the color up on Superman's suit too. Maybe it'll take away from the fucking digital mustache removal.
You said that didn't bother you, but now I didn't know. Actually, no, that's a lie. I knew about the mustache before I saw it, but his face literally looked like Shrek. Like
it looks like the people that are doing the when you see like Conan O'Brien or any of those people and they cut to someone's face who's not there. Yeah. Someone's face who's not there. It's just a still shot and they just have like a mouth going. Like that's what it looked like. And it was just I'm like, how you should have just wrote him in with a mustache. And honestly, the guys at Mission Impossible should have let him shave the mustache. Yeah, all he do is add a scene where he goes into the bathroom. He's the bad guy. Yeah. He's got the mustache when he's pretending to be the good guy in Mission Impossible. And then all of a sudden he just shaves it for the end of the movie when he becomes the bad guy.
But see,
I'll show you what they did. They used the Snapchat filter that turns you into a woman. So there you go. There's my mustache removal right there.
That's it.
That might actually be more. That might actually be more high quality than what they did. But the thing that's weird about that whole mustache thing is his mustache wasn't essential to Mission Impossible story.
Right.
It wasn't.
That's literally that's literally just competing, because who does Mission Impossible? Is that it's Universal, or is that I forget whatever whoever owns it was just being like, Warner Brothers, fuck you. Like, we're not shaving that mustache.
I think it is Universal.
All right, well, whoever.
There is a reason for the mustache, though. They went back to the old school 1920s theory of thought, where they said every bad guy has a mustache.
That's true. It should have been the giveaway in the beginning.
Yeah, that's basically the only reason for it.
They're like,
You're like,
Tom,
oh my God.
Tom Cruise doesn't have a mustache,
Right.
and this guy does. Which one's the bad guy?
He has to be the bad guy. He's got a mustache.
That's right.
So
The mustache worked in the movie, though.
So yeah, the original cut of Justice League is basically one of those unfinished trailers we were talking about earlier, with like the unfinished CGI. It was like a dailies cut. They were like, it's fine, just throw it up there.
I was thinking today, it's so funny. I was thinking it'd be funny if I ever wanted to make a movie, like in real life, which I probably would never do. But if I ever did, and I didn't have the budget to do like a car chase or anything like that, I would literally pay for a like model city and just like cut to be like, woo, like moving cars through the fucking city with my hand in the frame. And that would have been better than what happened at the end of Justice League.
Oh, probably.
like the audience would have reacted better if all of a sudden it was like, and here are Superman and Steppenwolf action figures fighting, like, because we couldn't afford to get it right.
Just an aside on practical models and how useful they can be. And in the original Terminator, at the end when they blow Arnold up in the truck, in the oil truck or whatever, that whole explosion is models.
Really?
You wouldn't even know. Like it's just a close up of a toy model being exploded.
Oh, I was gonna say, can't you see Sarah Connor and like Kyle Reese in every angle of that?
Not the explosion. Well, you can see them in some, which they kind of magically superimposed into each other.
Oh, okay.
So it looks super legit, and obviously it came out at a time when there was no CGI. So like, I'm all for that practical effect stuff if it's done with that level of care, because you can't even tell.
During Father's Day weekend, one of the things my wife allowed to have happen was watch Terminator, the original, because she's never seen any of them. But somehow we got on the subject of the plot of Terminator a couple weeks before, and I told her like the plot of like Kyle Reese coming back into the past and having to protect Sarah Connor, even though he's the father and he doesn't know he's the father, and all this stuff. And I told her to her, she goes, "That's actually a pretty interesting plot." So I was like, we're gonna watch it Father's Day weekend. That's my gift. We're gonna watch this. Like that's all I want. And then she watched it and she liked it. And then all of a sudden, that fucking like Ray Harryhausen fucking like robot was like walking into the warehouse, and she's like, this looks awful. What is this? And like, it was like 1983. I'm like, it's pretty good.
But you know what's great about that? It makes it scarier.
I don't know.
He looks way creepier. Dan knows what I'm talking about. Like he looks
the practical robot. The practical robot looked scary, but the fucking all you see is the feet, dude. But when it busts through the door, it literally looks like the skeleton from Jason and the Argonauts, like the skeleton people. It's fucking terrible. So
yeah, when he busts through the when he comes in, you can tell it's just somebody waving it around. It's like it's great.
It's terrible.
I love that.
I love this Justice League talk.
So what did you, before we move on from Justice League, what did you guys think of the casting choices for Justice League?
In general, like, what do you mean, like Ezra, like Flash and Cyborg? Because they're I mean, I really didn't know anything about I don't know anything about Ray Fisher. He came from the stage acting, so this was like his first real movie. So I was fine with them casting an unknown for Cyborg. As far as Ezra Miller goes, I only knew him. He was in what the fuck is the Wallflower movie with
Perks
fucking
of Being
Emma.
a Wallflower.
Yeah, he was in
Yep.
that, and then
Yep.
I didn't know him from anything else. So,
Because that came out before Fantastic Beasts, right?
Yeah,
yes,
Justice League. Yeah.
did it? No, maybe not the first Fantastic Beasts.
I think it did.
I don't know because he's in the first one.
He's in the first and second one, so he kind.
Yeah.
I think I think Fantastic Beasts dropped before Justice League did.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Perks of Being a Wallflower.
No, Perks of Being a Wallflower definitely did.
Yeah,
no, that definitely did. But yeah, I mean, he's fine. Honestly, did I put a graphic up for this? I don't think I did. Ah, shit, I had a good one for the Flash panel, which we're not gonna have time to talk about the Flash panel. Honestly, it was 10 seconds long. All they did was reveal the new suit and like Michael Keaton, Batman, and all that stuff. So, and obviously Ben Affleck coming back. So
good.
All that stuff was cool. But my graphic for it was gonna be, oh, that new Flash suit looks awesome. Who do we have to choke to get this made? Just like if you follow any news stories, he fucking choked some chick out, Ezra Miller, and then like
he looked all fucking crazy too. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, he was in like not Nova Scotia. He was in like Iceland, and like Iceland, the Icelandic people are supposed to be like the nicest people on the planet. He's fucking choking one of them out in the street. So I don't know. I don't know if I thought he was a fine choice, and he seemed funny in Justice League. But then all of a sudden, and I want my Barry Allen to be kind of funny, so I'm glad.
I thought he was forced though, and I thought he was kind of forced.
I think the worst thing about him was the running. Like it literally looks so weird running. It's like, dude, have you ever run before this? Like,
did you watch the Goldbergs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Barry running.
Oh yeah,
swinging the arms behind him.
The Jackie Town posse behind him.
Yeah, it's like I saw that and it's just odd.
It was just that one scene though, right at the end of the movie where it shows him like doing the running through the streets. He's like, whoa. It was like, whoa, like why are you running like that? You look like Ace Ventura, like something. It's so weird. It's like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo when he does like his walk where he like drags his feet behind him a little bit. Oh, it's fucking weird. But yeah, I have no problem with Ezra Miller. I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I thought Aquaman was silly as fuck, but it was entertaining. So I'm glad he's my Aquaman. I love Henry Cavill. I will defend him till the end of time. And I like Ben Affleck too. As he was never given what he needed to do as Batman to be proven as Batman. But I thought he embodied that Frank Miller like brawler Batman better than anybody has ever done. So yeah, the cast is fine. It's just the movie.
Plus Affleck's coming off of everybody just loving Christian Bale as
Batman. Yeah. His voice was way better. Like the voice modulator was way better.
Oh my god.
And we're obviously going to get into the Batman trailer, but I even prefer the fact that it sounds like Rob Pattinson's literally just like, I'm just going to talk. People aren't going to know who I am by my voice. Like, this is crazy.
So Affleck's always had that problem of being Ben Affleck. Where like people just see, no matter what character he played, they just see Ben Affleck.
That's funny because I know Russell Crowe's like a pretty well-renowned actor. I feel like he's always Russell Crowe to me, but
he was great as Jor-El though.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel that way because I literally then I watch his movies. I'm like, he's acting great, but then I somehow feel like when I see him, I'm like, it's just Russell Crowe.
So like when I saw Batman vs Superman, I was like, that's just Ben Affleck in a Batman suit.
Yeah, well, you know, I think from the Boston area we have a little more exposure to Ben Affleck.
Yeah, probably. I guess so.
Well, you have the two sides to it. You have the Batman. Yeah, okay, fine. He was fine, Batman, but him as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem people have in general is people like I like it. And even with Rob Pattinson and the Batman, I think a lot of people are like, I think he'll be okay as Batman because like the suit makes everybody Batman, but I don't believe him as Bruce Wayne and shit like that, which I disagree with. I think he'll be better than most, but I think it's hard to. Christian Bale did a pretty good job, but that movie didn't spend any time with Bruce Wayne in like the spotlight at all, other than in Batman Begins, where he's like, I'm going to buy this building. I'm going to pretend to be a fucking playboy, which is kind of, I guess, what you do as a billionaire. But
it's the Spider-Man issue that they had a hard time casting people that would be good for both sides.
Right.
Like Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker for the old campy 60s style Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was a great 45-year-old Peter Parker when he's playing a high schooler.
His Spider-Man was terrible. And then you had Andrew Garfield, who played a pretty good Spider-Man. He had the quips down and everything, but his Peter Parker was terrible.
Yeah, because he's good looking. He's like a good looking kid. It's that would not be Peter Parker.
Yeah, he was not
if
nerdy.
I saw him in school, I'd be like, that's the dude I want to hang out with. Look, he's got Emma Stone following him around. Like,
dude, he was like nasty on a skateboard before he became Spider-Man. Like, he was cool. He wasn't a loser. Like, you need your Peter Parker to be a loser. And that's why Tom Holland's the best one, because he's literally, he portrays both characters perfectly.
Yeah,
So,
it took him 3 times, but they finally got it.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. That's it. But I feel like Batman's the same way.
Dan, what did you think of the cast of the casting in Justice League? And I guess that was Chris's original question. We just went very far away from it.
I mean, I can't think of anybody that I would have picked over anybody else.
Right.
I mean, there were times that I watch a movie and I'm like, dude, that they should have got this person. At no point did I see that. I agree with Kevin that Henry Cavill is, I mean, he is
Superman.
Superman.
He's great as both Superman and his Clark. We don't see much of his.
Yeah,
Clark.
we don't really know, do we? We don't know.
No.
Well, hold on. We know his farm boy, like with his parent Clark Kent. Yeah. His interaction with his mother was great. I thought that was very believable as like the son. But again, we don't journalist Clark Kent. We don't know that guy at all. So
I hope we get a little of that in this.
No, we won't. How could we? How could this story allow that? He's supposed to be dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the story to Justice League, honestly.
All I hope for Superman's arc in this is I hope that when he comes back, like obviously he's gonna have that fight with the Justice League. I think that'll still be in the movie.
I do hope they keep the Flash running by him, and he's like,
yeah, that was actually probably my favorite part of Justice League. When like Flash is just a little faster than him, he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of the way. He's gonna fuck me up." Like, but no, I hope that there's a good and it's so lame to think of this in a comic book movie, but I hope that there's a good chunk of his life like getting used to like being alive again and really appreciating like the fact that he's not dead anymore, like embracing his like mom and Lois and like all that stuff. That's the kind of shit that I know was gonna be in that movie, you know, and it was left out. So
you're right, because it was rushed. He was back, and then he was all of a sudden, hey, I'm Superman again, let's go. But you didn't get any kind of like the stuff Marvel would focus on.
Yeah, Marvel would have definitely. Yeah, agreed.
Because like,
sorry.
Well, maybe just a little bit though, just a little bit, because honestly, you can't at that point in the movie you can't spend too much time on it,
right?
Just a little bit, because like even Iron Man had like, well, I mean, I guess it was a whole movie where he had it, but Iron Man 3 was just basically him going, like, fuck. Like New York almost exploded. Like, you know what I mean?
Iron Man 3 is a panic attack in this set across 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like,
right.
But they could incorporate a little bit. Kind of like in Spider-Man 2, where Peter Parker loses his powers and he doesn't know how to. He kind of learns to adjust, and like this. That was only a little part of the movie, so I think they could do something at least with. Like maybe he's secluded a little bit, and Lois has to go find him, because they didn't use Amy Adams that much in the original cut either.
Right.
So I mean, I hope they use her more. I don't know.
I don't know, but you just brought up something that has always irked me, and that is, how does Spider-Man just lose his powers in Spider-Man 2? He just chooses to not have powers anymore. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. He like goes to jump to the wall. I'm back. back, and then he hits the fucking wall and falls. My back, like that's like the worst. That is the worst part. I love Spider-Man 2, and that is the worst thing, like in all of the Spider-Man movies to me, is that. Like, he can just choose to not have his powers because he has one vision with his fucking dead uncle. That's stupid. Stupid.
No,
Stupid.
there's other reasons for it, because he's flying. He's like, and he falls. I think
No! He chooses to not have powers for, like, a period, and then when he wants them back, it takes like, Mary Jane being threatened. Mary Jane being threatened for him to, like, oh, my powers are back. I hate that. I hate that movie now. Thank you, Chris.
You've completely ruined Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Now the Sam Raimi trilogy is just fucking toilet water for me.
It was toilet water anyway. Spider-Man 2, though, was one of the best comic book movies ever made. I will say that. At
the time. I don't know if it holds up.
I still think it holds up as a character piece.
We're New Yorkers. You're going to go through one of us. You got to go through all of us.
I mean, it's got the Sam Raimi.
Okay.
It's got the Sam Raimi cheese, you know. But.
Yeah. Sam Raimi, and this is perfect for Geek Babble. He's directing Doctor Strange 2.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
That's it. That's actually the perfect character for him to direct, because
it is.
Or if he was gonna like jump to DC, he could direct like John Constantine or something like that. I feel like that plays so into the Sam Raimi wheelhouse. But
it's been a while since he directed a movie, so I'm excited.
All right. Any other thoughts on Justice League before we move on?
No mustache. More Amy Adams. Please fix up. Please fix up fucking Steppenwolf's look at least.
Well, they did. The images show that it's going to look like the character that was teased in Batman vs Superman. Like when Lex Luthor's like talking to, he looks like a fucking alien. He doesn't look like a human at all. Like no humanoid features. But there's a still in that new trailer where it shows a guy with a hood, like in this like alien looking like monster face. And I don't know who that is at all. Like I tried to look up clips and nobody has been talking about who that character is. I don't think it's Steppenwolf. I know it's not Darkseid because you see him at the beginning of the trailer, but I don't know who that is. Like, so there's a whole bunch of shit. This movie is going to be massive. It's 4 hours long. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of shit that people are going to be like, holy crap. I mean, at least half this movie is going to be totally new footage. So that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
And please, like, cut out all Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, and cast somebody else. Please.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that's really bad casting. That's casting. They should. If I could go back, we should undo that. But although when he gives what's her face that jar of piss, that's pretty disgusting.
He is the most non-threatening bald guy I've ever seen. It's like you think about Lex Luthor, and he
I don't know. What about Mr. Clean? Mr. Clean's always got a good smile on his face.
But I mean, he's supposed to be Superman's arch nemesis. Like Jesse Eisenberg isn't scaring anybody. I don't care how crazy he is.
I think it's supposed to be like I want to use the word juxtaposition, and I don't think that's the right word. He's supposed to be the exact like opposite of Superman, right? Like Superman's like big and powerful and like represents good and like straightforward logic. It's Lex Luthor's supposed to be like small and like weak and crazy. Like I get what they were trying to go for. It's like a yin and a yang sort of thing there, like exact opposites. But
they failed.
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't good. But yeah, that's all I got. All
right, Dan. Any final thoughts on Justice League before we jump to the next topic?
No. Just give it to me. I'll watch it.
There you go.
Release it on Blu-ray. I'll buy it.
No, I want to see it first before I spend good money on it.
That's the other thing I was wondering.
If it's good, I'll think about it.
That's the other thing I was wondering. So, like, not everybody has HBO Max. Is the only way to access this on HBO Max, or are they gonna, after its initial weekend drop, like, be like, now you can buy it at Target, like it's 4-hour format?
I think they will, yeah, because they released Batman v Superman Extended on Blu-ray as well.
Right, but that wasn't like exclusively dropping on a streaming site. So
they will, because they're going this far, and it's probably costing a bit of money. And the fans are going to want to buy it.
Yeah,
they want their Schneider cut. They're gonna be able to buy it.
Yep.
Yep.
In
Okay.
a steel book special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got, they will absolutely. It's too expensive not to do it.
And there's
Yep.
an extra 30 minutes of shit that Snyder cut out of his 4-hour
It's
movie. You know, there's just gonna be.
it's gonna be the
So
return
wait,
of the
there's
the
an extra
return of the
half hour.
the return of the King cut. It's
It's just going to be the ultimate fucking DC movie. That's what I'm hoping for.
if it's better than what I know it's going to be, but as long as it's better than what was given to me in Justice League, and like I said, if it makes it feel like it's this
Same
trilogy,
universe.
if this trilogy feels cohesive, then I'll be happy. All I wanted was Justice League to cap that arc. So let's see. But that's gonna take us to our next topic, guys, and this is our last official topic. The biggest thing to come out, the thing that closed out this weekend's DC Fandome was the Batman trailer. And this thing obviously has been in development for a while. Matt Reeves, the director of the Planet of the Apes, the recent Planet of the Apes movies, was behind it. And it's obviously Rob Pattinson's our Batman, and that's not controversial at all on the internet. So, yeah, guys, what did you think of this trailer for the Batman?
I will say the suit looks more Batman than Ben Affleck's suit.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So plus there, it just looks brutally violent.
As modern Batman should be.
Right. We touched on it earlier. The voice is just Pattinson talking, which is a plus compared to the Bale Batman. And there was one thing that popped up that actually I kind of liked. There's that one clip where he's in his suit, has no mask, but then has all like the smudged eye makeup around him. Which completely, you've never seen that before.
Right.
You just assume that somehow like he has like a little makeup thing in his pocket. And he's like, when he takes it off, he just wipes it off and he's done. Or he takes his mask off and it's not there. It's like, no, there's nobody has just like jet black eyelids under this mask. It's like it doesn't exist. So I mean, to actually kind of show it's a little more raw to me,
right?
Which I think is going to fit in quite well.
I can just see the fucking Twilight memes of running mascara on
I know
Edward's face.
Yeah, that's when you run the risk of somebody like that. I mean, you would get the same shit if they cast Daniel Radcliffe as Batman.
Oh,
right.
Well,
yeah.
It's when you have that one character, your breakout character that you've done in multiple movies, and you end up just being saddled with that for like the rest of your life.
Right. Which hopefully this now being cast as Batman does the opposite for him, where people are gonna be like, dude, remember when that fucking shitty Twilight series came out, and then that new Batman series came out, and that guy was way better in the Batman series. But Dan, what you don't know is inside every Batman mask, right on the cheeks, there is a pocket of eye removal cream that they just go like this when they take the cowl off.
Yeah, they couldn't give Christian Bale nostrils, so he had to stand there with his mouth open the whole time, like. Right, but they could put that in for him.
So I'm not gonna knock. I obviously the Dark Knight trilogy was pretty good. Dark Knight's obviously awesome. Batman Begins is actually my favorite. But I have a big problem with a lot. Cool. I have a big problem with a lot of the Dark Knight fight choreography. He literally, if you go back and watch, you can just pull up the clips of the fight scenes. He literally has every fight like this. Like he's fucking doing like elbow dances, like with everybody, like every fight scene. And like if he even throws a punch, it's only after he's elbowed someone away, and then he's like, ah! It's literally the worst fighting ever. Like he doesn't even throw a straight punch at anybody at any time in that movie, in any of the movies. So when I saw this trailer drop, obviously, and you see, obviously everyone's probably favorite part of the trailer is when he just fucking dominates that fucking what I assume is a Joker lackey based on the face paint, but he just like totally aggressively beats this man down, like straight punching to the face, takes him down, and then just like probably caves his skull in a couple more times.
Yeah, so he killed him.
I mean, maybe.
Didn't Batman have a rule? No killing.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Well, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he just has severe brain damage now.
Yeah, Because
You might as well be dead.
I watched the trailer for that Gotham Knights video game too, and I mean they're
killing people.
The Batman rule is gone. One of those guys just has 2 handguns and he's just blasting everybody.
Yeah, that's Red Hood. Red Hood definitely kills people. There's no way he's following by that. He's got guns. I mean, it's his main weapon.
I mean, that's like rule number 1 from Batman is no guns.
Yeah.
Rule number 2 is you don't kill people.
Right.
And they're just like, fuck it.
Well, what's the there's like the animated movie. I think it's the Dark Knight Returns. He's using his Batmobile or I forget what they fucking call it. It's like a tank. Kind of looks like the tumbler or whatever it is from the Dark Knight trilogy. But he's like shooting people with these guns and they're like getting all like blasted away and shit. And then all of a sudden, like he looks at somebody, he's like, rubber bullets. He's hitting them with rubber bullets, but they're like this big. Like it's still that's gonna kill you if you hit him in the fucking like square to the face or right in the chest, hit the heart. Like
oh yeah, that'll stop.
But no, and honestly though, the Batman kill rule that. If you go back through the movies, he really hasn't held to that so much. He doesn't kill everybody, but he fucking kills the Joker in the beginning he kicks that one dude down the belfry chute in the Michael Keaton one. That guy's dead. That was like a 12-story climb. And then he obviously kills the Joker. He kills the Joker, the Penguin. There's a lot of people that Batman killed. He straps a bomb to one of the Penguin guys and kicks him into a fucking alleyway. And you just see like confetti explode, but he's dead. Like that wasn't Batman's bomb. That was one of the fucking clown people bombs. So he kills people in every movie. And even Christian Bale, by not saving Ra's al Ghul, he's killed Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins. Truthfully. I don't have to save you. That's the same thing. That's like letting someone die for your actions.
Did Keaton have the rule?
They all had the rule. It's always been the Batman rule. It's in all the comics.
But they never really mention it in the Keaton movies. Like to me, Christian Bale is always like he was always the one that was like, yeah, don't kill people, no guns.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
He had to have mentioned it at least one time in each of the 3 movies.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't think Keaton ever mentioned it, and Keaton was just like, fuck it. I'm Michael Keaton.
He's like, I'm already gonna get crap for being Mr. Mom, so I'm gonna make sure that I kill people.
He's he's Birdman, dude.
Yeah. The other thing about this trailer, so obviously from the jump, I loved the music choice, like Something in the Way by Nirvana. One of my favorite songs off of Nevermind, and I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan in the world, but I never even thought that would ever be like the score of a Batman movie, you know? So to have that in there, I was like, wow, that's fucking perfect. That fits in with this vibe perfectly. And obviously the first shot of the trailer, you get the fucking tape. The guy's just with the fucking tape. He's literally asphyxiating a guy with a bag around his head. I mean, it looked like Seven, the movie Seven. I was like, this is Seven. This is the movie Seven, but replace Morgan Freeman with Jeffrey Wright and replace Brad Pitt with fucking Batman. So I don't know. I think it looks awesome.
I just want to jump back to Justice League trailer because you just brought up something that music choice. So they use Hallelujah, which is the most overused fucking thing you could possibly use for a trailer.
But it was a different version.
That's right.
There's like 90 million versions of that song.
Right.
Please stop using it because it's cheesy.
Well, here's the thing. Zack Snyder has come out and said that he used that because it's obviously his daughter. This whole thing was supposed to be an ode to his daughter, so that was why he used it, and it's obviously a nod to him using it in Watchmen during the sex scene between Night Owl and Silk Spectre. So that is he loves that song. It's like Zack Snyder, and it's kind of funny when you think about it. It's like the Snyder cut trailer, and he's like, "Hallelujah!"
Yeah, all right. You won me back on it.
It is funny though, but
Duffy, don't get too attached to the song. I recall one time, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. So, do you recall the movie Nine? Not the word nine, the number 9. It's with sock people.
Yes. Yeah. I wrote a trivia question for it in the first season of Movie Trivia Battles.
And they used "Welcome Home" by Coheed and Cambria. Great friggin' song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I want to see this movie. It's gonna be great. Never used in the movie. Anywhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. And
Just
I'm
in the
like,
trailer.
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not going to be in the movie. I don't think it'll be in the movie, but
that's typical now. They just use it for the trailer. But
It upsets me because sometimes that music, it just grabs you. It
Yeah.
pulls you in, makes you want more, and then they just like,
That's like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was like all these action movies came out and they always had Save Yourself by stabbing Westward in the trailer. And for some reason, it got me to see the movie in theaters when it came out. I was like, well, I love that song, so I have to go and see this movie. It fits so perfectly.
But I mean, you look back to the first Guardians, Hooked on a Feeling, Blue Swede. That was the first.
Yep.
That was in the teaser, and they used in the movie.
Right.
well, that's 'cause that movie's so music centric, though. So
It
like,
is.
it's part of the world and just character of the whole movie. So
Right,
that.
but to me,
makes more
it grabbed me, and I was like, yes,
Oh yeah.
I'm in.
I don't know
pretty sure
anything about. There's a fucking tree and a raccoon. I don't know anything about these characters, but I'm there.
I'm pretty sure that's the first song that he's listening to too when he's kicking all the rocks and.
No. That's that other one.
Redbone,
Yeah,
come and get your love.
come and get your love.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why it's that movie. That's why the first one's so good. It's unexpectedly great. But
Yep.
but back to the Batman. So
Okay.
what did you guys think of that? The opening couple shots here, where it really sets that tone for this version of Gotham.
It's like The Purge.
It did feel like the Purge.
Yeah, the darker the better.
Yep.
Like it's so interesting to me because it's a PG-13 movie. I'm 90% sure. Obviously, I don't know if
I
they
thought,
actually said that, but
I thought it was going to be an R.
I don't think so. I don't know if it would do them just. I mean, obviously, I would love to see a rated R Batman movie, but I don't know if it would do the story or do their audience justice to not be able to like let 13-year-old kids who want to see this fucking movie be able to come and see this movie.
When's it coming out?
2021. I don't know the exact date.
Yeah,
I
you're
would
right.
assume summer. It's like summer 2020. I think it's July.
Make it R.
Sure.
Release it digitally.
Mm.
Charge you $20. Parents will buy it for the kids just to shut them up.
That's true.
Well, it depends on why it has the R though. Like some parents might. Well, no, because.
Well, hey, think about this.
No matter how it has the R.
Think about this. The Dark Knight has some of the most suspenseful, like on the edge, like this. The score in that movie is just like as it like builds into like fucking like really intense like scenes with like the Joker, and you're like, what's gonna fucking happen here? Like is he gonna kill Gordon right now in front of me? And like all this crazy shit. And I don't know. It's just I feel like you can get away with a lot of stuff. And if all it is R or rated PG-13 because of the murder mystery aspect to it, then I'm okay with it. If all I'm missing from an R cut is like visually supreme violence, because even that scene when you see Batman beating that dude down, like the blows were brutal, but like the real brutal was the crunching sound after the guy's down, and you don't see that. You don't see that. All you do is you see him fucking hit the guy twice on the ground and then just fucking rise up, and you're like, oh shit. So
yeah, I'm not saying it needs to be R. They can perfectly get away with what they need to with the PG-13. And they they even have one F word they can use if they choose. But PG-13 could be gritty enough. A Batman movie doesn't need to be R the same way Deadpool needs to be R.
Right.
Because Deadpool's character is basically just an R-rated motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
you couldn't have his character be his character without the R.
You cannot have a PG-13 Deadpool movie.
Right.
It just goes against everything the character stands for. So yeah, you can totally get away with a PG-13 Batman and make it brutal.
Well, so what do you guys think? So this movie is going to be, it's based on The Long Halloween, which is one of my favorite Batman comics ever. And that basically, it kicks off on Halloween night with a murder. And there's a clue left at the murder. And basically the entire year, the comic spans a year of Batman every month. This killer is just called Holiday, killing all these people. And they're all crime people, or different members of crime families. And they keep getting like whacked as it goes through the year. And he has no idea who it is. And he spends the entire year, every month, he's like going to find another one of his rogues because like he thinks it might be them that's doing it. And then, so that's why all these, Chris, what the fuck are you doing?
Keep going.
What is this? The fucking real world? Like,
keep going.
This is Cribs with fucking Chris Crow.
Yeah, you reminded me of a Batman comic I have. Haunted Night.
Yeah, I don't even know what that one is. So there you go. But anyways, so he spends a full year, and that's why all these rogues are in this movie, because it's going to be similar, where he's going to be diving into like you. Did you guys notice that Colin Farrell's in the trailer as the Penguin?
Yes, I did.
I didn't.
So in the movie, you can see this fat guy getting rain on him, and he's got like this like really weird looking lower part of his face. And then again later, when the guy's driving, he's like, "This guy's crazy!" Like following him. That's Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and it's like I had no clue when I watched it the first time through, and I was like, "Holy shit, that is great makeup!" Like that they did to him. But so like all these characters are going to be in this movie, and again, I don't think it's going to span a full year. I don't think you could get away with that in this movie. It'll probably be a condensed story version of this, but a lot of people out there, and I maybe you guys even did too, are assuming that Riddler might be the killer in this version because it's the clues being left behind seem like the Riddler. But I want to say that maybe because I've read the comic, but basing it on the comic is not necessarily how it's going to play out in the movie. In fact, it'd be smart for it not to play out that way, because then you get comic readers being like, "Oh shit, I didn't think that was going to be how this was going to work out." But do you guys feel like the Riddler is the killer? Long way to get to this question. Do you guys feel like the Riddler is going to be the killer in this movie based on how this trailer has set it up?
I hope so. I'd like to see the Riddler be anything other than Jim Carrey. So I hope so. I'd love, because he's so interesting, especially how they portray him in the Arkham games.
Oh yeah, he's good.
So interesting, and I feel like he'd be a good villain for Pattinson's Batman. I feel like that'd be a good matchup, but it's not one that you've seen a lot of before. Like Joker's been done to death. Even Penguin, like I'm glad he's in it, but I hope it's like Riddler and Penguin, or Penguin's involved somehow, but Riddler's I think Riddler would be a good idea. I hope so.
Right. Yeah. What do you think?
I'd like to see it kick back to the old school Adam West style, where they're all fucking there.
Yeah.
You know who's doing what today. But I mean, I agree with Chris where it would be great to have the Riddler as something other than Jim Carrey, but at the same time, it's like, who the fuck else is it going to be?
Yeah,
I think it'd be great. It would set apart, because they're obviously trying to do something different. So, and Batman's got a whole wheelhouse of villains, but I feel like the Riddler would be a good matchup. More like psychological.
It's a detective story. This thing, Matt Reeves has come out and said he wanted to tell the world's greatest detective version of Batman, which has never been on screen. So it makes sense that it would be the Riddler in this version.
What better way than with the Riddler? Because riddles, you know what I mean? So.
Right. The only thing that makes me question it is they actually go as far as showing you see the guy with his fucking whatever mask he's wearing and those goggles he just killed this man. And that's obviously not the Riddler, but it could be a throwaway to that's how the Riddler's dressing or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like for me, again, my bias is that I've read the comic. So I feel like for me, the Riddler is going to be like kind of in cahoots with this killer, but not necessarily the one who's doing the murders. And he's more like trying to goat Batman into solving this crime, you know? But then he would have to be at the crime scene, so that's really convenient. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the Riddler.
You know, with the detective angle, I really want them to do, and they probably won't do it in this movie, but the Oracle angle, like just have Oracle up in the fucking tower, just helping
talking.
Yeah,
I mean, this is year 2 Batman. I don't think she's fucking there, man.
No, but they can. I mean, it's a fucking movie. They can do whatever they want.
That's true.
I think
she's supposed to be Jeffrey Wright's daughter, though. So I feel like it's pretty dark to have her like be like paralyzed and in the fucking watchtower, like in Jump 1. That seems like a story arc for like the second movie, even. Like if Joker's gonna be in it, like he shoots her in the back and like fucking like all that shit. But
I will say this: if this movie's great, I don't give a fuck about Batfleck. I don't care about him as Batman.
Well, I think that's the
Because it's never a good idea to have multiple people playing the same hero at the same time.
Well, this whole weekend was about DC kind of sending that message, like in our series on TV, like the Flash series, all that shit. We've set up that there's a multiverse, and Walter Hamada, the head of DC, basically said, or like, we're going that angle in with our movies. Like, and like there could be a plethora of characters playing the same character, but they're going to be separated by different worlds. And that's exactly how we want to run the ship. Because they're not going to stifle or stop people from doing creative work that'll work in whatever medium they're going to put it in.
That's
as
good.
long as it's a good story. That's what they care about now, which is honestly,
that's
like fucking filmmaking 101.
They fucking
They
care
should
about
care
that
about
now?
it. They
They
should have
didn't
cared
care
about that
about-
before
they
they
didn't care about
started any of these. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so I don't know. I think this Gotham looks sweet, and I if it's the Riddler who's the killer, I'm on board with that story.
I think that's a great idea. I think
Paul
it's great.
Dano, the guy who's playing him, is a great actor. I mean,
Mhm.
I love
is
Paul Dano.
this is the best cast Batman. I mean, that's crazy to say coming from the Dark Knight trilogy had great actors in it, but this is the best cast Batman movie ever, in my opinion. It's fucking the stars that are lining up to play these not even super important characters are just fucking. It's astronomical. Andy Serkis being Alfred. I mean, I would assumed he would have been cast as the Penguin. You know, like but he's gonna be Alfred.
We know what it is. They probably approached him for Penguin. He was like, I'm not doing if I'm doing this movie, I'm not doing some crazy physical character. I want to be like I want to be a real character, like a different kind of character.
I don't want to do mocap.
Yeah, right. I don't want to be the creature character. I want to just be a villain, or not a villain. It's Alfred, but you know what I mean. Like a different kind of. I was thinking
maybe Alfred's the killer. That's the twist.
I was thinking about his character in Black
Planet
Panther.
of the Apes.
Black
Oh
Panther.
yeah, Ulysses Claw.
Yeah.
Also a question of movie trivia battles this season.
But
yeah,
because you never really get to see him play like a human character, like a.
Yeah, I mean he's been in stuff, but he's not.
Yeah,
He was like the cook in King Kong.
Yeah, that first 5 minutes of Return of the King.
He's
human.
He's
Yeah.
Smeagol.
Yeah, Smeagol. 5 minutes. Is 5 minutes not enough for you?
That's my downfall in movie trivia battles. I don't remember a goddamn thing about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Or
No.
Godzilla movies.
That I just watched like last month. too.
Yeah. But yeah, I like I said, I think this movie looks phenomenal. Was there anything else that stood out to you guys in the trailer that you're like, oh, that's fucking cool. I can't wait to see that. Or
Robert
anything?
Pattinson.
Yeah.
I was never. I mean, yeah, he's proven himself to be a really good actor.
Yeah.
And he does like Lighthouse and all that. And he does different he does real stuff.
Yeah.
Like he does deep cuts.
That was why this is such an interesting that he even wanted to be this role, because he really has stepped out from like that. Like, I'm 20 years old. I'm in a franchise series that, like, you know, I'm not getting my best acting in because it's like the scripts don't allow for it. But he made his money. He made his money, and then he's like, I want to do low budget independent films where I can just act, you know. And now he's like, I want to be the head of this new fucking Batman trilogy, hopefully. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, he's proven himself somebody who can be a chameleon and potentially succeed at a role like Batman. And he's come out many times and said he fucking hates Twilight. Absolutely despises it. So I mean, that's some good points there. But
dude, he made like $50 million playing that character. I think that at some point he's like, I hate that fucking role, but then he's like, oh, but this 15,000 thread pillow is so soft.
Oh no, he obviously appreciates what it did for his career, but I mean, he probably looks at it like every other dude does and just goes, ugh.
Yeah, it's not the most masculine choice for a. And I get I get that. So there's so many people like my buddy Dave Hampton always gives me shit for Rob Pattinson being Batman, and Nelly hates Rob Pattinson being Batman, and it's like I'm like, dude, you guys have never seen him in anything except for the Twilight movies. Like, you're judging the dude who did something when he was 20 years old and telling me he can't be Batman now.
Yeah,
because Christian Bale was in a musical called Newsies, and nobody cared that he was a fucking Batman. Like, yeah, he did American Psycho in between. I get it, but like, I don't know. It's just
acting, guys. It's acting. It's
right.
He's not Ed Wood in real life. Yeah, at least I don't know, but.
Never met him. You don't know.
You don't know if he doesn't sparkle in the sunlight.
He did date Kristen Stewart, so you don't know.
Till she banged the director of Snow White and the Huntsman, and then he's like, "Yeah, we're not together anymore."
But yeah, I think he'd be great. He's going to be great, and I was interested at his casting from the moment I heard about it. At first, I was like, "Really?" But then I think I talked to you about it. And I was like, no, I'm totally down with it. I'm totally down with it.
I'm like an unabashed Twilight fan. Like, I truthfully, like, I don't love the movies, but like, I saw all of them and like, I read the fucking books. I kind of fell into that pretty hard. I don't know why. I'm super obsessed with like vampire shit. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And even though it's the worst version of vampire stuff you could ever read, I was still like, it kind of got me. So I always liked the guy, and I like Harry Potter, I like Cedric Diggory, so I'm always rooting for this guy to get good roles. So when he was even mentioned before it was announced, I was like, holy shit, he could be a great fucking Batman. But I'd seen his indie stuff, you know? I watched The Rover, I watched fucking Good Time, like all these movies that he has done where he actually acts, and I know he can do a gritty performance as Bruce Wayne. And Batman was really the question for me. Can he be a violent Batman? And that one scene told me that he could. That was my only lingering, like, I wouldn't even say doubt, but my only lingering, I need to see it in action, was can he deliver in fight scenes? And I gotta, like I said, my big problem with Christian Bale is he's fucking like elbow McKinsey and just like throwing bows at people. So he didn't do that at all. He fucking just, fucks the dude up. So I have no reservations. I'm confident this will be the best Batman movie that's ever been released. I will say that right now. Dan, what do you think?
It remains to be seen. I don't want to get my hopes up and be crushed, but I mean, from what I've seen, I think I'd like to see more than just a teaser trailer before I make my decision on how it's going to be, because teasers have zooed me in the past, and I one or two more, and then maybe I'll cut off the teaser, cut off the trailers, and just see the movie at that point. Right. I don't want to go full Terminator Genesis and have them reveal who the fucking bad guy is in the trailer.
I wasn't excited about any Terminator after 2.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is this teaser that we did just get to see. This is based on 25% of the movie being filmed. That's something to look forward to. Matt Reeves says he only got to film 25% of the movie. Now, we don't know what areas this trailer is pulling from. They don't tend to film movies from like, this is scene 1 through whatever. They film what the locations allow them to film at the time. So they could be pulling from all different acts of the movie, but I would like to believe that if only 25% is filmed, we're probably not getting much from the third act. We're probably not getting much from the second act. So for all we know, the rest of this movie is going to be fucking bananas. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they filmed the ending first.
Yeah.
They do that sometimes in the big budget movies.
Yeah, to get the spectacle shit done first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then they have time for their like fucking B-roll and their pickup shots and all that.
Yeah, that way if you overspend, you can cut from shitty stuff.
Right. My final question to you guys about this movie, and this is pure speculation. Rumors are that we will have at least the debut of a new Joker in this movie. It's not going to be Joaquin Phoenix. That's already its own thing. But who would you guys like to see play the role of the Joker for this iteration of Batman that we don't know anything about other than the teaser trailer? But
that's always a tough question, because if you told me before Dark Knight came out that Heath Ledger was going to be the fucking Joker, yeah, I was like, well, no, it happened. I read on IMDb back in the message boards because I was a nerd and I still am. But I read, Heath Ledger is in talks to be the Joker.
And you were like, no, the kid from 10 Things I Hate About You.
No, I was more like the Brokeback dude. Like that's the person that came into my mind.
Again, going to like one of the worst movies.
Right, but the point was like, and it's the same thing with Robert Pattinson. Like, you hear the name and you think about the stuff they've done, and he ended up. It's like, no way. 10 Things I Hate About You, Brokeback Mountain, fucking. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way he's gonna be a badass Joker. It's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be what he was the best fucking Joker we ever had. And that can be so. It's always hard to be like, well, I can see this person, but not this person.
Right.
You never know. I mean, John Travolta could be the Joker and be fucking amazing. probably not, but
I don't think it's gonna be Johnny T. But
fucking Frantic or Fanatic. What was that? Fanatic? That movie?
I don't know. I don't know what movie you're talking about.
Where he wears a Hawaiian shirt and he's like, he has a mental.
No, you're thinking of Michael, and you're thinking of you're thinking of Look Who's Talking. No. All right, so you don't have anyone in mind that you want to see play the Joker. Dan, is there anybody you want to?
Oh, and I said this from the beginning when, before Dark Knight came out, obviously Heath Ledger died prior to that, and I said, "Oh shit, what are they gonna do?" And I said, "I'm the perfect person. I know exactly who would be a perfect Joker to fill in if they needed him to go into the next one." And I'll tell you who that was. And I mean, it's gonna be a little weird.
Cesar Romero.
After I show you. Oh yeah, that guy right there. That is one Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I knew who it was, even though I can't see his face.
I know he's all washed up, but I was super shocked when I saw him in there
Dick
being
Grayson.
Robin, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, now he can't do that. But I mean, we've gone so far past this that I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's not a
it doesn't
possibility. But
I don't know
I think he'd do a pretty good job at it.
Yeah. And, it would be interesting to get him to play that character, considering he was in the, not the movie with Heath Ledger, but obviously being 10 Things I Hate About You. And then he was in
Yep.
the Dark Knight trilogy. But I don't know. So there's a rumor that because it's Warner Brothers, they were like, well, what about Johnny Depp? What if we get Johnny Depp to be the Joker?
No.
And it's like, I think I agree. I think he's too. He's too old. I feel like the Joker, not that he needs to be young like Rob Pattinson, but I feel like he's got to be somewhere between Rob Pattinson and Johnny Depp, if you're going to go a little older.
Well,
I mean, fuck it, let's go Clint Eastwood.
I know.
He'd just be crazy Johnny Depp character.
Right. And then the other thing I saw, and this is the fan drew this, but just based on his smile, I was like, holy shit, he looks just like him. Was somebody drew a rendition of Willem Dafoe as the Joker, and I was like, oh my god, he looks so good. Like he's so scary.
So basically just his Boondock Saints character with the makeup on.
Yes. Yeah. The green hair, and he was like, like fucking crazy. But no, he's too old too.
Yeah.
And I get everybody I have like doesn't work, but they would work. You know what I mean? And that's I think Michael Fassbender. He's hit or miss with his movies, but he'd make a pretty good Joker. But I don't know. But the other kid, absolutely the kid that they need to get, and this is another one that they won't get because it doesn't make sense because it's too close to other characters he's played. Get the kid who played Pennywise in the new It movies.
Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He literally he's tall and lanky, and he without makeup when he's not being Pennywise, he's pretty creepy looking. And I think
He is.
I think he's about the same age as Pattinson, maybe a little younger, but he could play up older easily. So like I don't know, I think he'd be a great Joker. In fact, he's my number one for Joker castings, but I don't think he'd do it because it's not that it's close to Pennywise, but it's like the Clown Prince versus playing the clown. But maybe he would. It's a big opportunity. So
it's funny. You mentioned him, Bill Skarsgård.
Yes.
Okay. I never know how to pronounce it. It's funny you mentioned him because there's another actor, the one from fucking Valerian.
DeHaan.
Yeah, DeHaan.
Yeah,
Dane
Dane
DeHaan.
DeHaan.
He's got that fucking same creepy look when he's not in any kind of makeup or anything like that.
Yeah,
But-
he's
but-
in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I
I
don't want to see him in anything.
I just remembered that he played the fucking Green Goblin, and I was like, no, never mind. Never mind.
It's so funny. It's hard to cast. Joker's hard to cast. It really is.
He is, yeah.
But I don't know. I like I said, I know that the Joker's in the Long Halloween. He's in it for a good chunk. So I would imagine you could easily write him into this. But are you then overwashing your movie with too many villains? Again, the story isn't about these villains. They're just people that Batman has scenes with as he's trying to narrow down his list of suspects. So I don't know.
I think Jared Leto might be a good Joker. I think. What do you think?
Are you being serious?
I'll throw my hat in the ring at the same time. Why not? Fuck it.
Jared
I'll
Leto's
do
a
it.
great actor, but they fucked up his Joker big time.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
His Joker was the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What if they just finally had Mark Hamill do a
Live
human Joker instead of just voicing him?
What if they go full on what's his face from Star Wars and they CGI the Joker's body, but let Mark Hamill do the voice?
Whatever.
Tarkin.
What about fucking what's his name? Poe Dameron, Force Awakens.
He's too short.
So what?
He's your height. You think that would be imposing against Rob Pattinson, who's like 6'2"?
I don't know how tall they are, dude.
He's like 6 feet tall. But
I've been trying to make everybody 6'2" tonight.
I know.
Duffy.
You know what's funny?
There's ways to find this out.
Tom Cruise is shorter than me, and he's a fucking badass. So
this is a tangent that I went on at work 2 years ago. Randomly, somebody was saying somebody was a certain height, and I was like, no, he's this tall, and it was right on the money. And then from there, people just kept throwing celebrities at me, and I got 6 in a row, 100% to their height. I couldn't believe it. I got like Stallone at 5'10" or 5'8" or something, and I couldn't remember it now. I got The Rock at 6'4". I got Will Ferrell at like 6'2". And
Will Ferrell should be the Joker. Let's go.
So, Rob Pattinson, you were an inch off.
6 exactly. Oh, 6'1".
Oscar Isaac is 5'9".
That's his name. Fuck.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess Oscar Isaac's actually taller than me, but then, but even still, it's. I guess it will work. I guess you don't need the Joker. He would be a good Joker, actually. You know what? I take that back. He would be a good Joker, Chris. I just don't know that he would do it.
I don't know. I think he'd be game for it.
He does have a good like crazy face. Like I could see his like curly hair being like green too. So I don't know. I just whoever they cast, they need to cast someone who is gonna like absolutely make the fans go like while they're watching it, like, oh, like my skin's crawling. He's so creepy, you know. But
the fucking what's his name? He was in the new Star Wars trilogy, and he was in I don't know if you've ever seen Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah, that's Dominic.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Gleeson.
No, that's him.
Yeah,
That's
it. Dominic.
It's Domhnall. He's
I think
what's his face? His
Hux.
son.
General. That's it, General Hux.
Yeah.
I think he'd be an interesting Joker.
Whose son? Whose son is he?
Brendan Gleeson.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Who is that?
You don't know who Brendan Gleeson is?
No,
Mad Eye Moody
not by name.
Yes.
from Harry.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
that's Brendan Gleeson. Domhnall Gleeson's his son,
I
and
did-
Domhnall Gleeson is also in Harry Potter 6.
Yes, he's
He's a
Bill Weasley.
Yeah.
I think he could potentially be a.
Yeah, he could be a good Joker.
See, that's the thing. You never know. You never know until they're actually doing it.
hmm
We're gonna have to figure it out. But
But then you have the people where you look and say, "Oh, Jared Leto could be a good Joker."
Yeah. Well, he still could have been, but the direction they went with it was terrible.
yeah, good actor, bad product.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, this is we don't even have time to get the last bit was going to be just a random bit
Yeah,
Babylon, but this
I know.
episode's running long, and that's
Yeah.
okay, that's good. So we're going to end it right here. Thanks to everybody on the panel. Thank you for Chris. Thank you, Dan, for tuning in. Anybody, reminder, this Wednesday, Dan's team is going up against Artie Wright's team in the first ever teams battle.
Little Lebowski Urban Achievers.
That's right. The Little Lebowski
kick
Urban
some butt.
Achievers are going up against the
That's a great fucking name.
the Lone Rangers.
The Lone Rangers. You can't pluralize the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Artie's doing.
The first ever teams match in movie trivia battle history, and we're going to do a lot more after that. But make sure you tune in. It's going to go live at 8 o'clock on this channel. You can tune in on Facebook. You can tune in here on YouTube. Either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Geek Babble. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll give you guys more content every week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.